I'll do the claps as well. Anything else? Do you do the intro? I can. It's fucking easy. Fan-freaking-tastic. Now you're on. Play your role. It's going to be fantastic.
G'day, welcome to the MacPack podcast.
We're back.
My name's Shane McKenna, and to my left, this week in order, the only member on this panel who's learning a new language is my little brother Joe. How are you, boy? Yeah.
Jake, I'm going great, and yes, I've had my second class learning Auslan, which is the Australian Sign Language.
There you
It's
go.
going great.
And to my right, coming in at 6'1" as he does each and every week, it's the baby brother of the pack, who we call Junior Boy. Junior Boy, how are you?
I only know how to do the blood and the crip signs.
Oh, nice.
That's my kind of
And
thing.
officially recognised.
Off the top, we're chatting about Joe's new sign language hobby.
Yep.
Joey.
We're also discussing some Valentine's Day stories after, obviously, Valentine's was last week. We've got some tales to tell. We're also playing another game of good film hunting.
Holy shit, we're playing gaming.
And Riley has a very exciting hero to bring to us all. It's a massive app, so let's get into it. Boys!
Bingo.
How are we all? We all well?
Good.
Also
Yes.
good.
Joe just
Or as I
signed.
should say.
Did you do the sign language?
As I should say, fan-freaking-tastic.
Fantastic, it's back!
That's right.
Is there a sign language for fan-frickin-tastic?
Oh, we're still on the beginner stuff. We haven't got to the
Fan-frickin'?
fan-freaking-tastic stuff yet.
Is
It's
there-
also going to be very... If you're listening to this,
Yeah, see?
it'll be good.
If
'cause
they're listening...
head over
they're
to the
listening.
YouTube, which I edit, and then you can see the signs and such.
Oh, you're going to be signing the whole thing?
He's going
Or
to
if you have
scribe the
questions
entire...
about what things are.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
You should just always scribe the entire show now. So
This
we
is
have-
great for an audio platform
Yeah.
to get Joe to
So-
sign.
So basically, let's back up a bit.
Yep.
Whoa.
So basically, I've had 2 lessons of Auslan. So learning Auslan was my New Year's resolution.
Which you mentioned on the pod when we were at Seasons.
Yes, I did. And now it's started. So we started the class. First class, we walk in there, right? And so me and Kira are doing it. And then
Okay.
don't know anyone else in the class. Is that TAFE? That's right. I'm a TAFE guy.
Oh.
Pretty cool, hey?
Do you have to pay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is
And I
it a
just-
TAFE course?
Yeah.
So
I
you
thought it
get
was-
like your Cert 3 in Auslan.
I think so. So this is it's just called beginner. It's like the most basic one you can do, and then you can get on.
And then you're going
more
to get a
advanced
certificate.
stuff. I'm not sure actually. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, I didn't know it was a circle. I didn't know it was a TAFE course.
Yeah, is that TAFE? So basically, so Patty is the lecturer. So we walk in, and we sit down and stuff.
How do you know that? Her name's Patty.
It was written on the board.
Oh, okay.
He? Her?
Her, yeah.
Okay.
And then she's absolute legend, right? Anyways, and then she starts signing. And because I was a little bit, because obviously I didn't know much before signing up, and I wasn't sure if
Pun intended.
the person teaching whether or not they would be hearing or not.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair enough
It's
assessment.
like,
Yeah.
obviously it makes sense for a deaf person to take it.
Makes it hard to teach if you're deaf, I think.
Yeah, so anyway, she started signing, and then and there was like a voice
Oh.
like coming over, and I was like, at first I was like,
Is that
How's
God?
she doing that?
yeah, I was so confused. I was like, because it's like the acoustics were like, it sounded like it was coming out of speakers, and then I was like, is there some like technology that can like tell what she's saying?
Stephen Hawking.
But basically,
It's Google Translate for sign language.
but there was an interpreter sitting in the front row, and she was
Behind a
she was
cloth.
like translating. no, just
It's
just
like
in
a
the-
puppet show.
No, she was just in the front row,
Okay.
and she was talking. I don't know if she had like the mic or she's just good at projecting her voice or whatever. But basically, that's how it worked.
Yeah.
Although my mind was blown for a while. I'm like, holy
How
shit.
long did it take you to work that out?
Basically when
The whole first lesson.
when she was like, "This is the interpreter," and then it was funny because Patty was like signing and saying like, "Oh, this is the interpreter." I can't remember her name. It was like Dr. Karen, something like that.
Doctor.
And then she was basically saying
The doc.
she's like one of the best interpreters in Australia, and she's
Oh,
like
that's
done
so
all this, like all the accolades and stuff.
And she has to
And
say
then she's
it.
just talking about herself in the third person.
Nice.
What? Because she's signing the
So-
whole thing.
No, Patty signing it
Yeah.
basically, to the class, and then the interpreter is saying what it is. So she's
Right.
just like big note in herself.
Yeah,
but
cool.
obviously,
So can
not
the
actually.
sign language lady not speak?
So she can't hear. She's like
Oh, okay.
deaf, and she doesn't. Obviously, she doesn't like speak, but basically, what she explained was Auslan like and sign language sort of through time.
Yeah.
It's has gone through phases where basically people try to like phase it out.
Okay.
So
a
older
bit
deaf
grim.
people can talk and like lip read
Yep.
because that's what they would needed to do when they were young, and that's how they would talk, and they weren't allowed to sign
Okay.
when they were kids. So she
Why
can
weren't they allowed
like
to sign?
basically they were like
It's like a secret language.
kind of like they're like a minority and they're getting discriminated, like prejudiced
They
against.
tried to like smash out the idea of being left-handed
Yeah.
for a long time.
Oh,
Just
really?
because it's different, basically. And they're like, yeah. Anyway, so now it's a lot better. Like people can learn sign language when they're young. So she can sort of say stuff like a bit. So sometimes she'll sign and she'll like say the word. But like obviously you're not gonna have like a
I have a question. So if the person who is sitting down the front row, she can obviously understand the hand things, the hand,
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it,
Auslan.
sign language. Yeah. And then she speaks it, correct? She's the voiceover for the whole room.
yeah.
Why isn't she just conducting the whole thing? Because she can clearly do both.
Because she's not there after that. She's only there for the first week.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Vital
basically-
information.
There you go.
So basically,
That's tough. So from week 2 onwards, you got no one
yeah.
to
So,
speak.
so basically, the first class wasn't about learning sign language. It was about learning about like history of
Chick.
Auslan. Yeah, like learning about introducing everyone and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so basically, because we were talking about more sort of, more like, obviously, like if you were learning a language, you would be learning about, say, if you're learning Chinese, and the person was up there explaining the history of China in Chinese,
Yeah.
you would have no idea what's going on. But when they're saying, this is an apple, and this apple, it's easier to understand. So
Yeah.
basically, because we're
But I
doing,
feel like week 2 is early to be like, okay, no more assistance required.
Go for it.
so that's what I thought. Going into week 2, I was a bit like, kind of like, how's this going to work? And she said, she said at the end of the first, well, like partway through the first week, she was like, and the interpreter's not going to be here next week, and there's going to be like no talking,
Wow.
like which is similar to what they do in a lot of second language classes. It's like you're not allowed to talk English
Yeah, that's
or
fair.
speak English
Yeah.
because
What's the point?
yeah, what's the point? So then we get there on the second week, and I was a little bit kind of like nervous, not nervous, but like I was like, oh, I wonder how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Because like in my head, I'm just imagining it like everyone in the class is being like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just trying to explain.
She's just up there doing
Bunch
her
of
hand
This
stuff.
guy's like-
She's been
gotta
teaching
die.
it for like she teaches it at Shenton College, so it's like a full-time job basically.
Okay. Wow.
And she also teaches the TAFE, and then also her daughter also teaches the Saturday class and stuff. So like
Right.
they know what they're doing. And then so we got down there on Thursday, and we didn't do any signing, and it actually went so. Oh, sorry, we didn't do any speaking.
Oh, I was gonna say.
And it went-
Where'd you go?
It went so well. We learnt the alphabet, we learnt greetings and stuff. She was telling jokes. She's actually because
and you're understanding the jokes.
yeah. I told the joke to Riley.
Joe
It-
reenacted the
it
joke
does
to me
not-
this morning. It stands, dude. I don't know any Australia land. but
Auslan.
Yeah, shit, man. That shit was funny as fuck.
yeah, the joke obviously does not translate.
No,
On a
it's an audio
podcast,
platform. Yeah.
But fuck, it's funny.
But yeah, it was really cool. Lots to learn, and then some. I guess it's funny because so me and Kira are there mainly just because we thought it'd be interesting and cool to learn.
Yeah.
Most of the other people in the class are they either work with people with disabilities
yeah.
or they work in school and stuff. And there's this one guy, absolute legend. We're going around doing the introductions in the first week. He was like, "Hey, my name is whatever," and then he's like,
Weird name.
well, I don't want to say his name. Anyway, he's like, "Hey, my name is Ted or whatever," and then he's
Or
like, I'm a
either.
I'm a forklift driver,
Good
and
man.
I wanted to learn this because he was like, I just haven't really learned anything since I was in school, so
How
That'd
old
be
is
cool.
How's Ted or whatever?
like maybe
Where's
a
he
couple
from?
years older than me,
Okay.
like pretty young still,
Yeah.
yeah. Just absolute legend, yeah.
What a dude. That's
Um,
cool.
Go Ted.
So yeah, it's going really well. I would really recommend if you're interested in it because a lot of the basics are quite intuitive. Like obviously, the more you get going, the more like complex it is.
Yeah.
But like the amount that you can understand someone, it's quite.
Yeah, that'd be
quite
cool.
good,
Even
yeah.
just like for introductory greetings and stuff. It'd be
Yeah,
good
it's
enough
really
to just
good.
have that,
So
just
we
so you
can
can be
watch-
polite. You can do small talk. Do they still call it small talk? Small sign.
Small size.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can watch the Mark McGowan presses on
Yeah, no,
site.
I'll be like, oh, she messed up there.
Because how good I remember when who was it? Was it someone in America?
It was at Nelson Mandela's funeral.
Just was a
Guessing.
fakie. No, she was
Oh,
a fakie,
really?
and she was just signing like garbage, just absolute rubbish.
At Mandela's funeral.
Yeah, and got
Yeah,
called out for it because she must have got. I think it was a
She
cashy.
would have got signed out for it.
She got a cashy for
That's
it.
that's like a sitcom like situation, man. Like,
Yeah,
you
like
need to go off there.
George would get in
No.
that situation.
Yeah, they had someone signing Rihanna's Super Bowl appearance.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
Did you see that?
No.
Apparently, she was fantastic, and there's a lot of attitude that comes across in sign language.
Yeah,
like,
because that's.
Especially Rihanna songs.
I'll say another thing because this isn't really like a funny segment, but
permission grant.
this isn't really like usually we do funny stuff. But I feel like this is just interesting. So basically,
Here we go.
there's an acronym that they use for. So basically, obviously, everyone knows that signs are like you move your hands and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's 5 things that go on into it. So it's called HOLME with a HOLME. So it's hand shape, which is obviously hand shape. O is orientation. So it's like where your hands are facing.
Yeah.
L is location. So sometimes if you do a sign on your face or on your chest or something, they mean different things.
Yep.
M is movement. So obviously like if your sign is just hand on the hand,
Yep.
or if it's hand and shaking, then that's a different thing. And then the last one is expression, which is like
Sass.
yeah, and is I love that about it. It's so cool because it's like the sign for
So the expression comes with facial expression.
yeah, and I think
Changes the
it's-
tone.
yeah, and I don't know if maybe because we're just doing the basics, it's like this, but it's like the degree of which something is. It's not say like we have like happy, sad, happy, joy, like psyched, whatever, but they don't really need more words for that because they can just express it. Like
Yeah,
this
that's
is how
fair.
happy I am.
Yep.
It's cool, and it's also like is like you tap your chest and you like nod. Don't like is you like oh no.
Oh, so
you
it's just
shake
the
that.
same as your head,
So it's
right.
like it actually. Yeah, it's a really sick thing to learn.
Very cool. I like it.
Very cool.
We
yeah.
are going to do a live episode of the MacPack podcast. I know we've spoken about it a lot, but we will actually get one done, I reckon, this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love for you to hold on to that joke and give us
Yeah,
the
do
sign
it, yeah.
give us the sign language joke in front of the audience. I think
Yes,
that'd
but
be
if
really
you
cool.
do, if you ever
It's
see
good.
me out, I'll do it for you because it's
good.
fucking it's
Yeah.
a classic.
How was the Valentine's Day celebrations there, lads?
Valentine's Day. Let's fucking go.
What'd you get up to, Joey?
I went out for dinner.
Nice. Where'd you go?
I went to no, we're not naming the place.
Nearly
But
got
I got
him.
a funny story.
Nearly
about
got him. Nearly
Also,
got
just
him.
just before we get to the dinner, so me and Kira obviously got each other gifts, right?
Yep.
So I unwrapped my gift on. We actually did the gift.
Do you get a gift?
Huh?
Do you get a gift?
Do you not get a gift?
I don't get a gift. I don't want a fucking gift. What do I want a gift?
Do you give a gift?
I give a gift. Oh, not a gift. I gave flowers.
What's your gift?
And then we went out for dinner.
And you didn't get anything.
I don't want
Not
anything.
even chocolates.
I don't want it.
Jeez.
What a guy.
I'm living it up over here. So I'm
I
unwrapping.
feel like blokes shouldn't. Not shouldn't, but
Depends on the girl.
Jeez.
all right. Well, yeah. Taylor does enough for me. I don't need a gift.
Yeah, true.
She carries
yeah.
it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, I unwrapped my gift. Lego flowers.
Nice.
Lego bouquet of flowers, right?
I'm glad I didn't get a gift.
I give Kira a gift.
Oh, no.
Lego
The
flowers.
exact same bouquet. Lego flowers.
The exact same bouquet.
Yeah.
Did anyone construct it
Mr.
better?
Lego is pumping his
Yeah.
fist in the corner.
Did anyone construct it better?
They're still in the box.
Just quietly? Oh,
Still in the box. Yeah. So was it last Valentine's Day? One time I gave her the flowers, but I had already made them.
yeah.
But then I was like,
So you do this every year. You get Lego.
Lego flowers. Yeah, they're fucking good. I think we must have both got an email about it.
Oh right.
The
went
ROI
on
on
sale.
them compared to real flowers as well. Much
Oh yeah,
better.
they're still up, and they look hell sick.
There you
Yeah.
go. Nice. Good stuff.
And then anyway, so then the big day rolls around. We weren't gonna do anything because
When
we
did you
were
get the
like,
flowers? Did you get the flowers on the day?
no, we did them earlier.
Why?
It's like the box was there, and Kira's like,
I got the same thing.
"Oh, you just want to look at it?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know
There
when
you
you like
go.
get a present, you just want to give the present.
No, you gotta wait.
Nope.
You
Yeah.
gotta pull it.
Mainly because when I'm getting the present is like 10 minutes before I'm giving it.
Yeah, I still gotta
anyway.
get your present. As well.
There you go.
Anyway, so the big day rolls around. We originally weren't going to do anything for dinner because we were like, we can just go to a nice restaurant on a different day, and it's like less of a hassle.
Yeah.
But then we had another ad, Instagram ad for a vegan dinner. Right?
Okay.
So we end up going to that. We'd both never been to this place before. Excited to try. It's we're not going to say the name of the place, but it's in Frio. Lovely location. and I was seeing it on Instagram and stuff. I was like, oh, this place is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I know the
Give it a
place.
go.
I've been to the place once.
Metro's for you.
And we get in there, right? First, it's kind of hard to find the lift. We end up finding the lift to get there. It was a bit of a hassle.
It
We
is
go-
tough.
Yeah.
There's two lifts, and one of them's just for residents.
That's the one we went in.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Residents. Do people live at this?
Yeah, people live
It's
at
like-
the joint.
yeah.
It's like a hotel type
It's like a
operation.
hotel.
Ah,
type
yeah,
thing. And then, anyway, then we get in, and so they don't usually. We're having like a set menu, so everything's already been decided.
Yep.
And like, I don't think they usually do this kind of thing. They're usually just like more of a bar.
Okay.
So it's kind of like going to like, a bar, but like they're like, all right, we're gonna be a fancy restaurant for tonight.
We're dressing it up.
All right.
We're dressing
And
it
then-
up.
so
We've got
we
Lego
walk in.
flowers. We're dressing this bitch up.
And even when I was looking on maps to try and find where it is, I looked and it's like they're not even usually open on Tuesday. And then
Oh.
when I like got there and I couldn't find the lift, I was like, maybe this is a scam. Maybe they're not open at all. Anyway, we get up there and we walk in and there's another girl also in the lift and she was like, yeah, fucking hard to find, eh? And then
She by herself.
yeah, she was actually
Stood up.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it was a bit awkward. Like, are you here for the Valentines dinner? She's like, oh, I thought it was just a Tuesday dinner. And then we walk in, and then we go out, and the whole restaurant is like dead. There's no one in there
Nice.
because everyone at the moment is seated outside, and that's where we were seated. Lovely outdoor seating.
Yeah.
And then we order our drinks, and then they start bringing the food out. We get our dishes very quick. So basically, there's like little like almost like taster sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's about 8 of them. We get through the first 3
Yep.
very quick, right?
Nice.
And then there's a bit of a break. And then these people who are sitting next to us,
Yeah.
they've been sitting there. They came in like 2 minutes after us.
Yeah.
They've been sitting there the whole time. We've probably been there for about half an hour now, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't gotten anything yet.
Right.
I think we then get another thing and it comes out. And then that waiter walks past and he's like, excuse me, do we need to order the food? Or are they just bringing it out? Because like, you don't have a choice.
Oh yeah.
And then the person's like, oh, like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Should be coming out.
Like, oh, okay, I'll check on that for you. So they hadn't gotten any food.
So
at
they
this
hadn't
point.
ordered.
No, well, they
You
don't
don't
have to.
order.
It's once you've booked for the set list, so you get everything
Oh,
that's coming,
Yeah.
right?
Everyone's eating the same stuff. Right?
Alright.
Well, not them because they're not eating shit at
And-
this point.
This was when it sort of started to appear that the cracks were sort of crumbling.
Okay.
underneath.
Cracks are appearing at this point.
Yeah. So like, me and Kira go to like a fair amount of these like set menu things. A lot of
Must
times.
be
Very
nice.
A lot of times, if we're going to a restaurant for the first time, we'll get the set menu because that way you get to try like a bunch of stuff, and it's like
A
they'll
lot of
pick like,
places have set menus.
not heaps.
yeah, we go to fancy places.
Must be.
Anyway, this is the first time.
The local pub that I go for
Yeah, I
my
don't-
palmy special definitely doesn't
I
have a
don't think
set
does it.
menu unless someone's died.
KFC. No.
No set menu.
Zing on.
And this place, anyway, so about half of the dishes, not good. Just not a fan. Of
Okay.
about half of them.
Is there a reason why?
I think it's because this is the only time they're making them. I think it's like
Oh.
a new menu. The menu was very interesting. So don't get me wrong.
That's my favorite word.
Don't get me wrong. The stuff that we did like slapped. Like it was really good.
Yeah.
But then like it's almost like they'd be like, here's something, this is delicious. And I'm like, here's a palate cleanser of bland, you know?
Right.
And then there was a lot of like descriptors in the menu that doesn't actually like mean anything.
Just words.
So we had these noodles, right? They're called ruby noodles.
Yeah.
And it was like
What's
said
in
what else was in it, and then it was like and ruby noodles. That's not a flavor.
What's a ruby noodle? Is that the color?
It was red.
So the noodle was a ruby color.
It was red, yeah.
That's
There you
the
go.
adjective.
Yeah, it was interesting though because it didn't taste like anything.
Right.
And then the wait staff, like
Here we go.
they were, you could like feel the anxiety. It's almost like
what you want.
it's almost like anxiety was like a side dish.
This isn't on the set list,
Yeah,
but
It was very-
we're gonna provide a
Right.
complimentary.
It was very experimental. I wonder what other emotions they did. So we had the anxiety one, and it wasn't just one. It wasn't just like. It wasn't just like one waiter or waitress was like,
stress.
oh, it's like Valentine's Day. It's a big day for any restaurant,
Yeah.
and like this person's obviously like feeling bad. It was like everyone was so, and I don't know if it was,
Themselves.
we were sitting sort of close to like the entrance to get outside.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like for example, when the people next to us were like, we haven't had any food, and like a couple other times like like people had spoken to him, and then like they would be standing sort of past the corner, but like not 100%, and like we could hear their conversations, and it was like, I don't think it was going well for him.
Right.
Um,
That's a shame.
and
You hate
like
to see that.
when we got our dessert, well, before we got our desserts, which I think we were the first people to get our desserts.
You got looked after, man.
Even though we weren't the first people there, because the people behind us had been there since we got there, and none of them had their desserts yet. And they bring out their dessert, which actually I wasn't the biggest fan. It was like that chia pudding stuff, which I don't really like. But there was a biscuit just called Heart Biscuit. Bloody good. Bloody good stuff. Great work on the biscuit, guys.
Nice.
But when the guy put down the spoons, it was like Shake Central. And I like
He's playing the spoons without knowing.
yeah, it was almost like and it was like they were like, don't get me wrong, all the servers and stuff.
That's after. So he's been at work for at least an hour and a half.
We were there for a while.
And
We were there
he's
for probably, like,
still
2.5 hours.
shaking. Imagine.
Yeah, because we were the first. So you could book at like 6:30 up until
right.
like 8 or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So we had 6:30. So like
These
they still
poor-
had a lot to go.
Oh god.
And like, don't get me wrong, they were all like lovely and like,
Were they young?
yeah, like in their 20s, not like super young, but
These
like,
poor people. They don't. You know, they're sacrificing their V
but
day
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
for you, and they're just having the worst.
And
time
they
could
were-
possibly have. Did you leave it tip?
No, I didn't leave a tip.
Good
When we
man.
went into, and then
Take care of your penny.
we finished our we finished our dessert, right? And then we went inside to like pay, and like then you could see like there's people in the kitchen and whatever. There's not that many people in the kitchen, probably why they're so stressed. And then all the
But
waiters
if it's the
and stuff.
same food,
yeah, just rinse and
cook
repeat.
bulk,
Rinse and repeat.
and then just keep it warm, and then
You'd think.
bang, bang. Like you're not making the fresh.
Yeah. What I think is it's probably the first time they've done that menu, and
Fucking
might be the last.
they could have just cut off some of the things that weren't that great, and then like the stuff that was good. It was really good.
Really
Just, like,
lean into it.
just fucking dump that shit on there, you know?
Yeah.
They did this like tempura fried broccoli, fucking slapped. If that was the
Right.
whole dinner,
Yeah.
oh, would have been great.
Okay.
And then we went in.
Not my choice.
No.
We walked up to the bar, and then we're like, because we have to pay for the drinks and stuff. We'd already paid for the meal, and then we're like, hey, can we pay?
Table 16.
And then he was like, have you guys had dessert yet? And then we're like, yes. And he like seemed shocked that we had finished.
From here? Did you bring a paddle pop with you?
And then he was like, go over there to pay. So we went over there to pay, and then the guy was like, how was everything? We're like, it was fantastic.
Fan freaking
It was great
tastic.
because
Rave reviews.
they were all like don't get me wrong, everyone was so lovely there, and you could tell that like they were stressed. It's a big night, and from what I've heard, other people have been there. Pretty nice spot, great location, and I just really felt like these guys are just so stressed, and like there were like a couple older couples there and stuff, and not to like
Here we go.
generalize, but like I hope they don't get yelled at by like
Yeah.
the more like people who would be annoyed about things going wrong.
Yeah,
or
the older
whatever.
demographic seems a bit more vocal about when they've got an issue.
Yeah, but overall it was, yeah, it was all right. If I wouldn't go back for the set menu, but
Yeah,
it's decent. It was a decent
I have
night.
been. I was actually fortunate enough to go probably 6 weeks ago now. Me and all the boys rallied up with a lot of the Dales came, which was quite a night. We don't really
Lovely.
do many fancy
Yeah,
type setups. We're a bit of a
the local.
we're a local pub
Tav.
type operation. I'll rock up into the pub with thongs,
That's it.
thong short,
Wearing
a
a
hat. No worries. That's how I operate. We went to the same establishment that you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
spoken about, and they do a funny. It's like Asian fusion type food.
Yeah, fusion. Yeah,
And I, not gonna lie,
don't fuse fuse my Asian.
the word fusion makes me anxious. And I didn't eat any of the food. I don't even know if I ate before, and I was designated driver. I decided that was going to be my
That's
gig.
fucking
Yeah.
rare.
Yeah,
no-
hero.
yeah. But we get there, and I wasn't there late. I was basically there with everyone else, and they've got one of the most fantastic things I've ever seen at Aussie pubs at the moment that's being rolled out is those little QR code things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
pay
just
at
scan
the
them on your
table,
phone. Yeah, you don't even have to get up. You don't have to do any of that. I don't mind getting up and chatting to the bar staff, but it's just so convenient, and it must result in so many more sales because the ease of just
Yeah,
scanning
you don't have to
your
go
phone.
in, especially bars where there's like not really a line. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Good
I think
luck,
it's
yeah.
fantastic. But we're obviously doing that. There's about 12, maybe 15 of us over this table. So everyone's just doing their own. They're just bringing it to the table. And you can just pay as well. So it cuts out the split billing aspect
because
because
getting their own stuff.
Jake wants 9 beers because he's, designated driver. So he'll just do it himself and they'll bring them over. But what I found was, I don't know if they just started doing it or they've been doing it a long time and they just haven't quite cracked the code. We were getting a lot of food that no one had paid for and a lot of beers that caused us to look around and go, oh, look, probably ours. And then they just sit there. At one time, one of my better mates, Spanch, went to the toilet and about 3 drinks came. He had like an espresso martini and another beer and then a wine for his missus. And I'm sitting there and he left, right? And I didn't know he'd ordered. And then this woman comes over and she goes, oh, I've got these drinks. And I just looked and I was like, oh, yeah, probably for Bench. And she just put them all down. He's walked back from the toilet, sat down, and he goes, whose are these? And I'm going, I thought they were yours, man. You're the only person that wasn't here, and no one else's, because no one else was like, yeah, that's my drink. And that happened heaps.
So one table's just not got any drinks.
I got like a handful of extra pints, and I would have loved that on any other night.
Yeah, fucking.
But when I'm designated driver, I'm just very, very generously handing them out, going, this that's not mine.
Does not sound like it's going to be alive for much longer.
And the food, they were bringing out food. And it was like, I don't know who ordered that. And then, questions between 15 of us. It's like, no, man, we stopped ordering food like 30 minutes ago.
You taking it though?
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, you got to do it. Did you like...
Ignorance.
Did you obviously you're a big group? Did you like push tables together? Was that messing with the?
Nah. It was like a big table set up. But no, I didn't mess with it. And you got to scan.
But you must be getting someone else's order.
But you're scanning like, let's say it's table 86. You're scanning that. They're bringing it over to that table. You can't fuck that up.
Yeah, no, but they might not know where the
Tables
the map might be different.
No, but that buzzer.
Yeah, but are they looking at the buzzer, being like, oh, 86?
No.
They're clearly just walking out with a tray of drinks, being like, someone will wag. Like,
I don't know.
When people used to order food in the cinema, and we'd have to bring it in, and no one sits in the right seat.
Yeah.
So you just walk
Russian
in.
roulette.
You just walk in with like a hot dog, and you're like, oh, someone waves at me.
6 people go, yeah, that's mine. That used to happen all the time.
Yeah.
And those poor people
I know.
that
I
order
loved it
dinner.
when-
Some nights, if you work there on a Saturday night, you walk out the back because we only have we'll get it. This is a whole segment in itself. But we only had one
oven.
one oven
Yeah.
and one person manning the
An
oven.
oven, if you can even call it that.
And you can't cook more than like one pizza or one hot dog
Yeah.
because they're all in different settings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then you get, I don't know, Damien walks in and goes, yeah, mate, I'll grab 2 chips, 3 garlic breads, 3 pizzas and a hot
That's
dog.
an hour's
and
work.
you're like, oh, how long's your movie? Because you might be picking it up on your way out, bro. That's going to take ages.
Enjoy this at the third act.
Yeah, and you walk in there about an hour in. You're like, oh, here's your pizza, bro. He goes,
Yeah, what
right.
I
I thought it
liked
wasn't
about-
coming. And you're like, yeah,
What I liked about...
we put it in the moment we could.
Because some people, if you order... Because obviously people get there early, there's like 20 minutes ads, whatever.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'd call it out at the side. But if they're
Yeah.
close to the movie, it's like, we'll bring it into you.
Yeah.
I loved it bring in, especially when we were like make the pizzas. Like when we put everything on it. Because they open it in the dark. They don't know how badly I fucked it up.
Yeah. You don't know what you're getting. You're in it. Still makes him laugh to this day. Alrighty, boys, we received some fantastic feedback after last week's episode.
They loved the game.
Where we debuted Good Film Hunting, and it does appear that the people quite enjoyed our brand new game.
They wanted it.
Fantastic.
They wanted more.
With a-
Joey reckons he could top the record score of...
What did we get? 49 seconds.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
49 seconds was last week's score. I managed to call through an establishment in Perth.
Yes.
I was chasing Winnie the Pooh, which
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
which is a film I'd never heard of until
Ay.
prior to we played the game. The chick was fantastic. She was so quick. She
Yeah,
was full
she
of
was good.
energy, and
Georgia.
we're hoping that the person we call today
Bianca.
for Joe brings just as much energy in a game that we like to call Good Film Hunting. He picks up the phone. He's asking all the questions. He's not nervous. This was his own profession. He's talking fast because the clock is ticking. I hope that they know the movie that we're thinking. If you know the movie, I'll explain it smooth. Come on, buddy, don't you know? I'm sorry if you're struggling, can't tell you who it's starring. Remember, he was in that show.
Don't you remember? He was in that show, for God's sake.
He was in that show. Now, this week's game is centered around a brand new movie. Joey, I've just sent you the screenshot. So the premise of the game is I take a screenshot of a movie currently showing at a cinema complex in Australia.
Whoa.
And it's up to the other person, who this week is Joe,
Joey.
has to play along with the person on the other end of the phone. Basically a game of charades. He can't say the name of the film. He can't say the name of anyone that's in the movie. He can only allude to other things that they have been in. This week, do you want to have a look at who you've got there, Joey?
Yes, let me have a look.
Let me have a goose.
This week's movie is...
Magic Mike's Last Dance.
It is.
The
I
Last
thought it was
Dance.
going to be this one too. guys.
Indeed. So,
Joe, the time that it's on this evening at this cinema, which is actually over east, is 7 p.m.
yes.
Which means
It must be soon.
10 minutes.
No, let's play it as they're calling for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's called
Alright.
for tomorrow. Yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what time it's on. Blood and Honey was only on once, so that's
Yeah.
why that was.
Alright, well,
Just don't tell him. That's fine.
All right, so who's in it?
We're
Channing-
calling over East this time because we're doing a day
Day
app.
episode, yeah.
Little sneak behind the Forby. We're doing a day
Who's in
app.
it?
So we're
Channing
calling.
Tatum, I know.
Yep.
These other dudes, no clue. Eric,
Okay.
Aaron Klein, Housewife 1, Daniel LaLucca, Event Planner, and Jamelia George, Zadie Radigan. No photo.
Nice. That's what you want.
Nice.
All right, Joey.
And she's
mainly-
apparently was paid more than Channing Tatum.
And she doesn't have a photo.
It's-
Maybe now she can afford a photo on
Yes.
IMDb.
obviously, Magic Mike is obviously a film about a man and his 8-pack.
I'm excited to see what story you're going to come up with. Joe, give him a quick buzz. Let's see if we can get this game under 49 seconds.
Thank you for calling Hoyt Cinema.
Now, exciting times, Joe. Good luck to you, mate. I'm excited to see what sort of strategy you're going to run with here. Who are you going to be?
Yep.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm looking for session times for a movie for tomorrow, but I'm not exactly sure what it's called.
Okay. Just to confirm, you're trying to book into Docklands one.
Yep. It's
Okay,
got it's got the guy, you know, like the hot guy from 21 Jump Street.
It's got the what?
Like the hot guy from 21 Jump Street.
I guess so. Channing Tatum.
Yeah, that's him. What's the movie that he's in? It's like
Magic
about
Mike.
the stripper one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what time that's on tomorrow.
There's one at 1:50.
Okay, perfect. And what was it called again?
Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All good.
Good stuff, Joey.
Joey goes bang.
That was a layup.
Yeah, he was
The hot guy from 21 Jump Street.
I got a chuckle. From
Giggle.
him.
He was hesitant to confirm or deny whether or not he also thought he was the hot guy from 21 Jump Street. Joe, he guessed Channing Tatum at a record 36 seconds and the movie Magic Mike Last Dance at 41.
Wow.
41.
Beating Jake
It
by
felt
8
long.
seconds.
It did feel long, especially when he continued to look for the film
yeah, we-
timeline after we did
Yeah,
that.
that was
went on
the-
for another minute. But
That was boring. Well done. That's huge.
Yes.
That's a huge victory.
The one megastar, you got to go for it. He's obviously although now, arguably, they're both hot. Jonah Hill's had a massive glow up.
Facts.
What would you have done if he ran with the Jonah Hill line? It was
He's
just
not in anything.
he's
No,
not in
the
any
tall, muscly guy.
I wish he had.
Sexy.
I wish he had. If that was me, I would have lent on that so much more. I would have kept them on the line and gone, I don't know who that might be.
I think my favourite
I
part
have to
of the
explain more.
My favourite part of the call has got to be you're working in customer service, you get a phone call and you answer it going, yep.
Alrighty, boys. That just about brings us to another episode of the MacPack podcast. What did I say then?
That just about brings us to another episode.
Yeah, I will say.
I guess if they're binging.
Alrighty, boys, that just about brings us to the end of another episode of the MacPack podcast. But before we finish up this week, as we do each and every single week, we play one of our favourite little segments. It's time for our Everyday Hero. Junior boy, taketh away.
Boys.
Yep.
Look, this was a couple weeks ago. My good friend Cade's younger
Gave you a
sister-
lift? Is that it?
My good friend Cade's
That's what they
You love it when
always
people
are.
give you a lift.
my good friend Cade's younger sister Diaz had her 18th birthday party.
It was a period in time where we didn't used to say people's names on the podcast.
Nah, go shout out Diaz.
Oh, okay. Shout out to
Come on,
Diaz. She was the hero.
Yeah, shout out.
Give her her credits.
18th birthday
18th
party.
birthday, the big one.
Look, now that we're all turning 20, there aren't many occasions to go to an 18th again.
Exactly, because everyone's too busy turning 20.
That's right? And we don't usually get the invite because it's a little bit creepy if we rock up, right? So having an 18th that we're invited to, fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
Good fun because everyone's there and like usually it's like their first time at the club or like one of their first times drinking or like first time legally allowed to get on it and go to Northbridge. Like it's like, oh, whoa.
And then at like the 18th, there's like the kids who have been 18 for like 6 months. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know how this goes.
Yeah, this is how it works.
And then there's even a few people at the party who are like at the party and you're like, oh, are you coming out after? And they're like,
Nah,
oh, I'm still
mate.
17. It's like, oh.
True.
So it's a fun game to play. It's a fun game, especially when you make like I was really good friends. I was chatting to this one bloke, Prince, the whole time we were there.
That's
Cool
a
name.
sick name.
I know, right? And he was like, nah, but I'm not coming out though. And I was like, oh, it's so much fun to have that. Because now that I go to parties and I'm 20, everyone's going out. It's not a question.
Purple Rain or not.
There you go. Anyway, so
Prince gags.
When doves cry.
20. I mean, 18th, lit, right? The boys are very excited. Only 5 of us got the invite to come to the 18th. And there's a big party bus and everything. And even Diaz's mum was getting on the piss and all of her friends were going to go to the Northbridge together, mate. It was a nice time to be alive. And obviously, me and my good friend Kobe, we got really excited. Really, really excited about this occasion. So we were drinking almost everything. I had a little bit of beers, wine, and spirits.
Nice.
Genius.
The walking BWS.
And beer was fine, just a few EMUs. The spirits was good. It was just a punch that Diaz's mum Shona made. But the wine, I think, is what got me, gentlemen.
yeah, off on the way.
The wine was in, obviously, the goon bag. The goon
Oh,
bag that I
yes.
talked about from Triple J's Hottest 100 party, right? And we brought it to Cade's house after the party, after the Triple J party, right? And then we left it in Cade's ute tray. And it sat in that tray for the next 3 days.
Wow.
And then we messaged Cade and said, hey, where's that bag of goon? And he
Just
said,
cooking.
oh, I just found it in my tray. Sizzling. I'll show it in the fridge for you. You guys can have it this weekend.
For
And
international,
that
for
we
international listeners, over that period of time, 44-degree days
did. Yeah.
on the regular.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so we drank a lot of that and he got really excited. Anyway, went to the Court Hotel. Great times. Anyway, but then after many, many drinks, many quickly drinks, things started to go south quite fast for me on the dance floor. I don't remember much about the dance floor, but I do remember getting my good friend Mozzarino to carry me to the bathroom and projectile vomiting black liquid everywhere
Nice.
for the next
Oof.
10 minutes, like all over the cubicle, like not in the bowl, like
God.
everywhere.
Just paint the town, man.
Have you ever done that in a club bathroom?
Once.
Nice.
It's a weekly occurrence, mate. Anyway,
When it's black, it's a bit scary. It feels like
especially
you've
because
got a demon pouring out of you.
Yeah, it seems like you're like the villain in a horror movie.
and like
Yeah.
the alcohol was lager, the spirits I was drinking was vodka, which is white, and the wine was also white. No reds anywhere to be seen. To
Your
make
body
the
doesn't
stuff
seem to
black.
care. Hey,
Yeah,
just
it
churns.
all
I don't
the
know where
food
the
out.
black. Where did the black come from? Must be
No
like
idea.
bile. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
But the whole it was just all black. Anyway, and then so I was throwing up heaps, and then eventually I was like sitting with the boys, and the boys were all like on, and I was like, oh no, like you'll be right, mate. Let's come back on the dance floor. And I was like, no. I started to like leave the club, walked out by myself. Luckily, my good friend Alex Marchese followed me out of the club, and I was standing there throwing up on the side of the road. These 2 lovely ladies came up to me and offered me some anti-nausea medication in a pill packet.
Was it in the packet?
Yeah.
No, it was a pocket. It's
But
just
luckily-
a loose leaf
Hey, it
tab.
costs $50.
and these 2 girls, they were like a bit older, probably like 25. They were like, "Oh yeah, like have anti-nausea. Like we bought it because in case we get sick." But
Did you know them?
Have one? No, not a clue. Anyway, and then Cheesy's like, Alex is like, "Yeah, have one." And I was like, "I'm probably not gonna take a random pill
Good.
from this random woman on the side."
You
of
should get a button. Riley's
Northwood.
made a smart decision.
at 3:30, yeah. And I was like blind, and I was still the one being like,
Maybe
no.
not.
And she showed me the thing, and it was an anti-nausea, but I was like, I'm not taking that risk. Anyway, went to the side of the road, threw up more. Cheesy ordered an
He's
Uber.
waving it.
Cheesy ordered an Uber for me and him to go. And we got in the Uber, and I think the Uber quickly realised that one of us wasn't feeling too good.
Someone did not take his anti-Nortatello.
And Alex lives in a suburb right off the freeway, and I live like 10 minutes off the freeway.
Yeah.
So the first stop was going to be Alex's house, and Alex asked, "Oh, actually, can we go to this other stop first?" Because he's in more of desperation to get home.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And the guy was like, "Oh, not really, because that's just going to add time onto my trip." And I'm running.
Doesn't
the
it add
business
money
here.
as well?
And we've already paid. I don't know. It's fucking Uber. Anyway. So then I start going, and then like I really needed to throw up, and we just passed one set of lights, still in Northbridge. And I opened the door, and just started spitting outside the door, and then I shut it, and I was like, "Mr. Uber driver, would you prefer me to open the door and spit, or try get it out the window and risk it getting it down the side of the
Yeah.
Is there an option
Answer?
C
side of the car?"
for neither?
And he said, "Get out of my car."
Yeah, that's
And
option C.
Window or door?
And Alex.
The question still remains, Mr. Uber driver.
And Alex was not stoked because like he was pissed off that he like kicked us out.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, fair enough, mate. If I was driving Uber, I would not let me get into
Yeah,
this
that's
car
fair.
right now." And then anyway, so we sat on the side of the road. It was like 2:30, and usually Alex is our designated driver,
Yeah,
but Alex was drinking this night.
good on him.
Rough night to drink, right? Because now we need a designated driver. Yeah.
Not a rough night for him to
Yeah,
drink.
rough night for you to ruin it for him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You know what Uber should do, right? They should have like a fleet of cars that are like
Latex.
like plastic. They've got like you've got a sheet of plastic.
Yeah.
So that way they can charge a premium
Yeah.
for any of the people who
throw up.
are gonna throw up.
It's like a slip and slide by the end of the night.
Cut this bit out.
Joe's taking
I'm
this
gonna
off.
have a meeting.
Joe's taking this off the air.
Anyway, so we get kicked out of the Uber, and I'm sitting with Cheesy on the side of Northbridge. I'm laying down on the concrete,
It's a good look.
just vomiting, pouring out of my mouth, just like slowly, just dripping out of my mouth.
Lovely.
Anyway,
We should intercut the Cooper Chapman talking about the effects of alcohol.
and then I was
And
like,
Riley being like, actually going out and drinking is good for my mental health.
Yeah.
I was like, Joe's asleep, Jake's asleep, Mum and Dad are definitely asleep.
Well, I was
Don't want to wake anyone up.
When was-
partying in Mandurah.
Where was I? I might not have been asleep.
It was like 2:30 a.m. on
I was asleep.
Sunday morning. Yeah.
I was asleep.
I was like, I don't want to be that guy to call up Mum and Dad and be like, "You pick me up or not," because that's never gonna end well. Anyway,
Nah.
and then
Roll
Yeah, but
it
this
out.
story did end great, didn't it?
And then I was like, shit, like, who can we call? Like, all the boys that, like, are close with that go out and would be up at this time are out. Everyone else is asleep. And then I was like,
So this is a story about a guy who gave you a lift.
and I was
They
like,
always are.
I was like, there's only one man for the job. Is the most sense. We got the highest ATAR in the group, Jaden Matson. I said, give Jaden Matson a buzz.
Oh, poor Jaden.
So Jaden answers the phone. Jaden lives,
Was he asleep at the time?
yeah. Jaden lives, like,
Fuck.
in, like, Applecross.
Do you feel bad about this?
Anyway. And so
Why he
Jaden,
gets on here and fucking
Jaden-
apologizes.
Yeah.
This is
He's
his
like-
church. Repent, repent, repent.
They're like, oh, maybe you could like transfer me some money. He's like, no,
Everyday era.
I'll give you a shout out.
Jaden answers the phone, and he's like, "Oh, like random call from Cheesy at 2:30 a.m. Someone's dead." And he's like, "Jeez, are you alright, man?" He's like, "McKenna's no good, mate. McKenna's down bad on the side of the road." And Matson says, "I'm on the job."
Wow.
Gets in the Lancer,
What a guy.
no shoes on, drives to Northbridge with a West Coast Eagles bag that I was throwing up in, and
Oh, he bought equipment. He
Yeah.
bought props.
This is the funny part. I actually didn't throw up, but I spat a lot, and like a lot of other liquids were going in that bag, right?
Hilarious.
And then I was sitting in the passenger seat in the shotgun, and I was like moaning, like,
You still got shotgun.
yeah.
did you get
I don't know why they put me in
That's
shotgun,
it.
but they put me in shotgun.
Yeah, don't vomit on the gear stick.
And then we started driving, and Cheesy and Matson, both in their sober states, were like, they started to have a conversation, and I
Is
just,
Cheesy sitting behind him, or is
Behind
he
Matthew.
sitting in the middle seat?
I don't know where he's sitting. Anyway, they're talking, right? And they exchange like 3 lines of dialogue, and that makes me feel really sick. And I literally pulled my head out of the bag and I said, "Shut the fuck up."
What a guy.
Yeah, and then apparently I was like,
5 stars.
apparently I was like falling on Matton while he was driving as well. Like my head was
Again,
on his
why
lap.
were you in? Shouldn't you be in the back of
I don't
Cheesy?
Shouldn't he be in the boot?
Anyway, we pulled up to home. We called Dad out.
So you
And
still
then-
woke him up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Fuck oath.
but then we were at home, and I was like, "You've got to call Dad." I was like, maybe I could get inside to sleep, but I was like, "You got to call Dad."
Yeah, I woke up and I had a message from Cheese seeing if I was home.
I didn't have nothing, hey.
Yeah, 'cause you don't live here.
Escape.
And I pulled I got Cheesy to pull my phone out of my pocket as we got to my place. And we sat out on the front veranda, and I said, "You got to call Dad. You got to get Dad out here because I'm like real fucking sick. Like I can't just go to sleep." Anyway, so then Dad comes out. Dad just opens the door, doesn't even like walk near me. Just goes and punches a dart, sitting on the fucking side, on the side bench. Just walks out and goes, "Boys, how are we?" And then just starts fucking smoking a cigarette. And my mates are just standing there, just like fucking home. And then eventually Dad was like, "You boys can chuff off now." And then Matson grabbed the bag that had all like spit and vomit in it and left with it. I don't know what he'd do with it. Hopefully they're not doing their Saturday shopping with that bag. But then, and then I started throwing up even more after they left. And then I just like fell on the ground and just fell asleep.
Out the front.
Yeah, out the front, right?
Where's Dad?
Which felt like 5 minutes, sitting there next to me. Or like sitting behind me.
He's on the bench.
Chuffing darts.
That's his happy place. He loves that.
Yeah,
bench.
he loves that bench. Anyway.
You're ruining his happy place.
When he dies, we should get a statue of him sitting on there punching a drum.
Yeah, we should get one
Yeah,
of
like
those-
Ronald McDonald. You know how Ronald McDonald, the old
Yeah.
statues that sit out the back?
What are you saying, Joe?
Or like, you know, like those that have the park bench with the plaque.
Yeah.
Like we get one just for the one out the front.
That's it. Anyway. And then I fainted, right? And fell asleep. And then Dad went inside.
Just on that, he could be smoking. It could be an image of him on the bench smoking, and just a little caption like, "Died doing what he loved doing." Because that's what
Or
it
we
would
could have,
inevitably
like-
take him. Like, come on, let's.
We could have it like he's sitting there smoking, and it's like also like an incense thing. You could like put stuff in, it like comes out of it.
I like this. Let's
Anyway.
brainstorm
Let's
this. We're
think
bringing
about
this
this,
back.
yeah.
Anyone
Father's
know-
Day this year.
Does anyone know anyone who makes statues?
And then I fall asleep, right? Which felt like 5 minutes. But during this time, Dad went inside, grabbed a pillow, grabbed a few blankets, and a heat pack, and put it under my head, and wrapped me in blankets and pillows, right?
And left you out.
Like
And then he sat there with me.
like a
I went back on the cameras, security cameras, to watch it the next day. I slept out there for 3 hours,
Wow.
like 2 to 3 hours. Dad was sitting there, just next to me, as I was just sleeping on the concrete
Wait, so Jade is not there
I think Jaden's been snubbed.
until like 4:30 a.m. Or like maybe 5, and then eventually Dad was like, "Come on inside," and then went inside.
I've run out of cigarettes.
And then and then took me inside and I fell asleep.
There you go.
Crazy, right? So I've got to give. You got to give Matson the everyday.
We're getting
hero.
a 3-2-1 votes here.
Yeah, what do you
We're
guys
getting a
reckon?
one vote for cheese.
Who's getting it? Yeah, I reckon the big 3 this week.
I reckon I would go 1 vote for cheese,
Yeah.
2 for
Which is fucked, because if I did what Cheese did, I'd feel like the greatest guy. Do you know what I mean? Got kicked out of an Uber,
Wait,
had
I'll
to
do
pay
a-
for the Uber.
Oh yeah, I'll get a transfer over that.
Yeah,
we'll do a tally. So I'm gonna go 1 to cheese, 2 to Matson, 3 for Dad.
yeah.
Riley?
I think I agree. I also bought Matson a wine the next day on Eddie's
Oh,
wine
you're good
tour.
then.
Yeah, we're
You're
chilling.
good,
Me and Matson, it's great
That's
like
chill.
that. And then
And Jay, who are you giving?
Yeah,
your
I
vote to?
think, unfortunately, I think I agree.
Oh, so the voting, we all agree.
Yeah, but like rough for both of the boys who get 1 and 2, because they
deserve
in any
it.
other week
It's an
they're
honour.
best on ground. Do you know what I mean?
It's an
You
honor
can't-
to be nominated.
You can like you know it's like scoring 400 in a game of cricket, and then the bloke who comes in second inning scores 500, and you're like, well,
Oh,
that's a shame.
this is like with the Moonlight and La La Land thing. We're like, oh, you've won? No, you haven't.
No, you haven't. Also, one funny thing that happened later on, like a week or 2 after at the gym, we're all standing around chatting about like, oh, remember last weekend? Fuck, that was fun. Eh?
Yeah.
And then Matson was in the circle, and I was like, he was like laughing about it as well. And I was like, were you even there?
Oh my god.
And he was like, mate, you fucking can't. And it took me ages to realize. I was like, why is he angry at me? And I was like, oh yes, he saved me.
the rudest
Oh boy,
boy.
to be fair, you weren't in a state of
No, yes.
remembering
I was
things. I
like-
don't think.
There you go. So we've taken a bit of a journey with this week's Everyday Hero.
Yes.
I know. I
thought it was
a twist ending. even
I
for
thought
the
it was
guy
going to
telling the
cheese
story.
until Matson got added, and then I thought it was I
It's a lock on Matson.
was all in on Matson at that point,
Yeah.
and then a secret third character appeared.
Daddy!
To break the streak of pickup heroes.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Goes the extra mile without actually going any miles.
Oh,
Yeah.
bravo.
He just walked from his bed to the front door
He's the no mileage hero.
with dart in hand.
Chuffin.
There we go. So this week's Everyday Hero goes to the dart in hand hero, Mr. Frankie Mack, for making Riley into a little curbside doner kebab. Righty boys, that brings us to the end of another episode of the MacPack podcast. We've got a big week on the cards.
We do.
We've got a big night on the cards.
What is tonight's celebration, Jake?
We're doing a Saturday day episode, which is very rare for
Very
us
rare.
because we've got Harry Styles on Monday night.
As it was.
And we normally record on Monday night. Nice of Harry to join us just then. But today, yeah, we're actually off for a few fucking skooies
Oh, man, we've already started.
down at the home, the Left Bank home. I haven't been to Left Bank in a hot minute.
Yes, but the ban's been lifted.
Do you know what, boy? Do you know what's funny? I've never been to the left bank.
Ever.
Never, ever.
I have been.
That's me spitting out my drink.
I've been a handful of times.
Nice.
The funniest part of that is that there's only been one time where I have been to the Left Bank and I haven't vomited at the establishment.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that in my mature age, we're going to make tonight the second time.
Is it like D floor? Well, what's it like? Is it
I think
like a
there's
Henry Summer?
normally live music on Friday. I don't know if there's live music on
Is there any music?
It's like
Or is it just like
it's a bit
pub?
bit barrioke.
So it's like over the... Or is there a DJ?
There's no DJ.
No
No.
one's spinning decks.
No, there's a DJ sometimes.
Is it? I don't know. We'll find
Depends.
out and we'll chat about it on next week's episode of the MacPack podcast. But yeah, birthday weekend.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Jake.
birthday, Jake.
26.
26
Fuck that.
is what we're branding it.
Jeez.
Woo! Squeeze! No, it should be a good night.
So mature.
Boys, anything else on this week?
No.
Oh, we're back at Matter.
No.
Friday night. Yes.
The episode,
night you're
the
listening
night
to
that
it.
this episode comes out, we're back at Matter doing our little roving Brian. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Roving MacPack.
Come down.
So yeah,
Get in an interview.
if you haven't already organised your plans to come down to Magnet House for Matter Fridays, make sure you do so. We'll be there spitting yarns and asking the people of Perth some of the most interesting questions that need to be answered.
I think one of the best nights I've ever had out. Is like every time we go to Matter Friday, I'm like, fuck, this is a good time.
You got work on Saturday?
No, not anymore.
That's
mate.
Holy
huge.
smokeroli.
That's
boys are on.
dangerous.
The
That's
boys are
dangerous.
on.
We love to hear it, boys. Until we do this time next week, plus a couple of days. Stay safe, stay blessed, and always remember to
Go give your mum a hug.
it's ciao for now, but not for now.